We're going to be together tomorrow, Perry, because you're on commentary duty, aren't you?
Yes.
For Tottenham versus Wolves.
Can't wait.
It is a 3 o'clock kickoff. It is talkSPORT 2's exclusive commentary at the same time on talkSPORT. Manchester City go to Leicester. What do we expect? I mean, trying to predict what's going to happen in a game of football that involves Tottenham is almost impossible. The other leagues, great entertainers, but they are in a bad run of form. They're 12th in the Premier League table, and they take on a Wolves team that have back-to-back wins under their new manager, Vitor Pereira. Is only one thing guaranteed tomorrow, Perry, and that's goals?
Yeah, very much so. You said the most particular thing about Spurs is unpredictability, but you can predict the way they're going to play. And that's the downfall of Spurs, because other teams know the way they're going to play. So I was lucky enough to be at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for the Liverpool game, and I saw one of the Spurs coaches working with Spurs' back four against Liverpool. It was Porro, Dragusin, Gray and Spence on the left-hand side. And they was working with the back. He was working with the back four, so he had the ball. So when he moved the ball forwards, the back four dropped off. Mm-hmm. And then when he went away, turned and ran away with the ball, then the back four pushed up to the halfway line, right? And I knew full well they was going to do one of those things, which was push up, because they never ever drop off when there's no pressure on the ball. That's where, obviously, Postecoglou planned this exciting front foot football, but then you've got to change your principles when you're out of possession. Because if you're looking at Wolves, and Cunha, who's in fantastic form. They've got Strand Larsen up front, who I think has been very good for Wolves. He's settled in the Premier League really well.
He's a handful, isn't he? Yeah.
Exactly. Guedes will play just behind him. So Wolves will go 3-4-2-1. And they have runners. And you know full well that they'll say, right, when we're in possession, your first look is, can we just dink it in behind Spurs' fullbacks? So Ange Postecoglou has to change it. If not, it's a dare. I know he's got a lot of injuries in the back four, which quite rightly, but if you have a philosophy where the back four know that you're going to drop off when the opposition is in possession, there's no pressure, they'll concede less goals. But he's not going to change it.
Will it cost him his job?
I think this season he's safe. I think he's all right.
Even if they remain 12th, 13th come the back end of the season?
Obviously, they're in the semi-final of the League Cup.
That's giving him kind of an extra 6 weeks as a guarantee, doesn't it?
And I think the Europa League will give him an extension as well, because they'll qualify, for the last 32. So I think he definitely got until the end of the season. And he'll say that he hasn't been backed, but they bought Dominic Solanke for 65 million quid. Spurs fans loved the football last year. They end up coming fifth. But if you keep seeing your team get beaten 4-3 or 5-3 or 3-2, it's professional sport. It's about winning. That's the be-all and end-all. And we can all be romantic about it, but there's fans who wouldn't care. If their team won 1-0 every week and it bored the pants off them, but they won the league title, you take it in a heartbeat. That's not boring, is it? Because you want your team winning championships. I
think everything saying about Ange and his lack of adaptability is absolutely bang on and spot on. But I almost just think that this is what a Tottenham team, or is Tottenham haven't won a trophy since 2008. Apart from a couple of years under sort of Pochettino, they spend most of their time not playing in the top four. And I get that Ange's had some money to spend. He brought in Dominic Solanke and James Maddison when he first arrived. But when people talk about his future, Perry, I kind of just think, do I trust Daniel Levy and co to make the right decision in terms of bringing in the correct manager? And then probably most importantly, do I then trust Daniel Levy and co to give that new manager the right resources to take Tottenham forward? They've had all sorts of different managers. They've had proven winners, Mourinho and Conte. It didn't work out. Look at Nuno flying at Forest now. It didn't work out. So I kind of almost just think that the people that are out there calling for Ange to be sacked, I genuinely just don't see the point in sacking Ange, because it almost then feels like you're just going to go through the exact same process like they've done for pretty much the best part of 20 years now. And I agree with you, he has to adapt. But one thing that we have seen at Tottenham is that when it does click, it clicks and they play really, really well. And we've seen them beat Man City this season, beat Man United this season, beat Aston Villa this season. And that's why I almost just think that it's worth persevering with Ange rather than just ripping it all up and kind of starting again, where you pretty much know they're going to go through the same process again and again and again.
Yeah, but there's one consistent in that period of time that you've spoken about there, with all the managers coming in, with Mourinho, with Conte, with Nuno, obviously Pochettino initially, and now with Ange, is Daniel Levy.
Exactly.
In charge of the club. And they missed a massive trick in, I think it was 2019, when Spurs got to the Champions League final against Liverpool. And if they'd have won that, I've emigrated to go and live with my boy in Sydney.
You wouldn't be here, would you, right now?
No way, Pedro. No.
Or would you do a Max Rushton and just do it from a Zoom link in Sydney?
In Sydney, if I was
That's
allowed
fun.
to, exactly, yeah.
Max can do it.
But
I think you can do it.
they didn't back him then. Players that, not only players that he wanted in, they didn't back him with the players that they wanted out, because at the time he knew that Vertonghen was getting older,
It was an aging
Alderweireld was
squad.
getting older, exactly, Danny Rose. And Daniel Levy dug his heels in because he wanted too much money for the players that he wanted out, where he should have just got rid of them, backed Pochettino, got younger players in. And I'm not saying that they'd have gone on to win the Prep, but they might have had more of a chance to keep that trajectory upwards where they come in the Champions League. So the thing with Postecoglou is it's difficult not to like him because of the way that his team plays. For the neutral, he's brilliant for the Premier League and he's brilliant for everyone else. But Spurs fans will get fed up with keep conceding goals. And like the last two Premier League home games, they conceded 10 goals. Do you know what I mean? So that can't continue. But Spurs fans are going to the game thinking, I wonder if we're going to win 3-2 or 4-3, or we're going to lose 3-2 or 4-3. And in the end, you'll want the consistency. Be interesting to see if he brings James Maddison back.
And what's he going to do at centre-back tomorrow? Because Dragoshin's injured as well. You read out the back four they played against Liverpool, which has no Van der Ven, has no Romero, and then Ben Davis. And Radi Dragoshin's going to be missing tomorrow. So it could be probably, I think it's going to be Bissouma and Archie Gray centre-back tomorrow. So you've got two centre midfielders playing at centre-back. Yeah,
well, I think Dragoshin's really struggled in the Premier League. I think he's one of the ones who loses concentration, he drifts, and he doesn't actually keep like a team shape. So I'd be interested if he said brings Maddison back, because goal scoring wise, he's had a decent season. He's got 8 goals this season. Brennan Johnson has had a good bit of form at home. He's got 6 goals in the last 6 games, all competitions at top. So, like going forward, Kulusevski has been very, very good as well. So going forward, they've been right. Son, I think, is on the downward trajectory. I think he's just lost that dynamism that he had. And then if you look at Wolves, as I said before, the new manager's gone in and he's actually got them better structured defensively.
What's he done better? What's he changed?
I think he's gone with the back three, obviously Doherty and Bueno and Totti, but I think he's just made them a bit more structured. Perhaps it was a different voice going in as well. You know, you get the new manager bounce. Obviously, the win against Manchester United was a brilliant win. Like, obviously, Cunha scored from a corner where Anana's just waving at someone in the stands, and the breakaway goal where Cunha squares it for Hyung-hee Chan was a brilliant breakaway goal. So I think under Vitor Pereira, there's just a bit better structure there, where Gary O'Neill tried to change it, because when they were successful under him, they played 3 centre-halves. Like, it was all like Craig Dawson come in, and they were difficult to beat. And then he tried to make it more expansive. He went 4-2-3-1, where he didn't have the fullbacks that suited playing in a back four, like Aït-Nouri on one side and Semedo on the other. So it suits Aït-Nouri and Semedo playing as the wing-backs as well. So you can bet your life that they'll be high and wide tomorrow. So it's going to be a brilliant game to watch.
And we're going to be there. I'll be doing updates on talkSPORT. You'll be most importantly doing commentary of it on talkSPORT 2. It's a talkSPORT 2 exclusive. Perry Groves and Ian down to Tottenham v Wolves, 3 o'clock kickoff.
The Sports Bar with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. Monday to Thursday nights from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.